Hi, thanks for taking the time out to watch this video. Last time we got together, we talked about earnest money and what a critical role it plays in the real estate transaction. Today, we're going to talk about closing and possession dates. Again, there's a lot of misunderstanding out there because people don't buy and sell real estate real often. But when they do, a lot of times it's misunderstood. So I want to tell you what the difference is between the closing and the possession date, and also remind people out there that both dates are very much negotiable, both when you write your real estate contract and then as the transaction progresses, those dates can and do change for buyer's convenience, seller's convenience, and sometimes out of necessity from the lender's standpoint. So first I want to describe the closing date to you. This is the date where the closing is funded. So this is the date in which the buyer has the funds available, whether it be through their own means or through a bank, that this closing is funded. The money transfers from the buyer to the seller. The deed to the property, the document that actually transfers the title from the seller to the buyer, is also executed on that same day. So closing is the date that things are recorded and money is dispersed. A funded closing. The possession date, however, that's the date that the new buyer moves in. Sometimes they happen on the same day, but not always, and they don't have to. Buyers sometimes move in early before closing, and sometimes sellers retain possession of the property until a date that both parties mutually agreed on after the funded closing. Keep in mind that these things are negotiable. If you either have an early possession date or a late closing date, you'll have to address a few things with that other party, like homeowner's insurance, insurance of your possessions, who's going to take care of repairs if any come up during that in-between time, who's going to pay for utilities. So there are a few things that are going to have to be addressed either with your agent or with your attorney. But do keep in mind that it is negotiable and they don't have to be on the same day, and that closing dates especially are an educated guess when you're dealing with a loan on the buyer's end. A lot of times we're 45 days out when we're writing the contract and we're predicting that the bank will be able to close sometime around 45 days from now. Well, that's not always the case, and sometimes there are other things that delay a closing, holidays, that kind of thing. So do remember to be flexible when the time comes. It's not set in stone. Closing and possession dates are often renegotiated as the situation changes throughout the transaction. So be flexible, and remember it's okay to negotiate these dates. Thanks, and we hope you'll tune in again next time when we describe to you another portion of the real estate contract so that you're more prepared and ready when it's your turn to buy or sell real estate. Thanks, and have a great week.